Hello and welcome to the Senate, episode 2. Let's get started on Pineapple Beach Place. Let me click into the emulator first. There we go. Anyways. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything to actually talk about, maybe? Because I don't really need to... Commentating over this on what's happening isn't actually that interesting. And this hack is less eventful, which I am very thankful for, and I am an idiot. So, hold on a second. Let me get in the Mario mood that is required. Oh no, it's underwater. Man, that's unfortunate. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay. I mean... Is there anything I can talk about, maybe? Let me just... I don't actually think of topics ahead of time. And I usually just talk about the game, but... it's not really... doesn't really tell you much, because Mario is pretty self-evident. There has to be something around here to help me. Let's go down here. Ah! Silver P-switch. That should do the trick. Save state. And that does the trick. Okay, I could talk about the Xbox One. I suppose I could. Yeah, why the heck not? I'll talk about the Xbox One in some form or another. So as I said last time, I did get the Xbox One when it came out, and I got 3 games. I got Call of Duty, Ghosts, Battlefield 4, and Forza Motorsport 5. I have played all 3 pretty extensively. Definitely the most of Forza. Forza is a very, very impressive game. I've owned the previous Forza. I've owned Forza 3, and I like that game, but it was just like a very good racing game. Like, I haven't been a adamant fan of racing games, and really, to be honest, the only reason I got Forza 5 is because it was part of the bundle. So I didn't expect too much of Forza 5, because that's just not a genre I generally like that much. And Forza 3, while I certainly liked it as a racing game, and it's probably a racing game that I've played more than any other racing game in my life, I don't know how to get up there. Forza 5 has certainly caught me, because there's one thing that you don't think about when you think about the Xbox One that you should really think about, is the fact that the controller has the built-in enhanced vibrations and such on the triggers, all over the entire controller, and they're very, very precise, fine vibrations that they actually put quite a bit of effort into when developing the controller. Hold on a second. I don't need to press fast forward. We're gonna go back and see if we can get the secret. So we're just gonna be going through all pipes, I think. So Forza is ridiculous with the Xbox One controller, because when you are driving and your tires start to slip out, you will feel the vibration of the tires that are slipping out in the specific area of the car where they're back. So if the back left tire is starting to slip out, you'll feel the bottom left portion of your controller start to rumble slightly, and then as you start to spin out, the bottom part of your controller, the back 2 wheels, will begin to vibrate fairly intensely, and it gives a really nice sentiment. Let me read this. Okay, hold on a second. I've already gone through this level. What am I doing? I just feel like I did the same thing twice anyway. So, yeah. Yeah, so Forza 5 is just like a dream to, play, because, your feel for how the car moves, how the car drifts, how the car handles its traction is just ridiculous. The game itself may not have that much content, or whatever complaints you may lodge against it. I think it actually does have a fair amount of content, but I've heard people say it doesn't have as much as its predecessors. Still a hell of a lot. And the racing itself is great, and the game is actually very nice and fresh with the Drivatar thing that's using the Drivatar, which is, I think it utilizes the Xbox One cloud service as well as some other things, which is that the Forza physics engine partially runs off of cloud servers, so they actually were able to put much more power into the game than they would have been able to otherwise, which is one of the very nice things about the Xbox cloud servers. But also, I think running through the cloud servers are these things called Drivatars, and essentially when you play Forza, you never, even if you're single player, you never play against a set AI. You never play against some AI that the Turn 10 designed. You play against people's Drivatars, and basically what it is it interprets the way that you drive and correspondingly creates an image of kind of how you drive. Hold on a second. Oh, congratulations! You have found a secret exit, or at least the room where it's hidden. Simply bring the key to the keyhole to achieve it. Okay. So anyways, so these Drivatars, they're very, very complex representations of how you would drive. And basically, so when people play single player, they're just playing against other people's internet Drivatars, so they have their characteristics and their driving. So it very much feels like you actually are driving against other people, but you're not, and they feel like they're people who are competitive. They'll try to nudge you over, and the Drivatar is extremely accurate, because I have my brother has this game as well, and it usually plays you against Drivatars on your friends list. I think that are really lucky for playing his Drivatar all the time and he playing mine, and it is very clear, because we've raced with each other directly as well, that the Drivatar is very accurate to what you would actually do. Mine will tend to cut in the inside and bounce out on the inside of cars. Mine will tend to drift a lot. His will tend to try to knock people off the side of the road, such on. It's really cool. Now, sometimes you hate the Drivatars of jerks who just brake randomly in the middle of the straightaway. I hate those guys. But it's a really cool concept that I really enjoy. And also, your Drivatar is not just there to be for other players. You actually do collect money for what your Drivatar does while you're offline, or while you're online for that matter. So you collect money when your Drivatar participates in things. Now, not as much money as you were playing directly, but you still get a fair amount. So it's nice to come in each day and see, like, oh, you have rewards pending for your Drivatar. You got 5,000 credits. And that's also nice, too. So I really am enjoying Forza 5. Like I said, I'm describing more of the fancier things about the game, but the actual core gameplay is also very, very good. So yes, Forza. Call of Duty. I've played maybe an hour and a half of single player and a bunch of multiplayer, and I can say that single player has been fantastic. As I expected, they put a lot of time on the single player for Ghosts, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. Hold on, I just went over on Bandicam. Let me refresh. Yeah, okay, and record. There we go. Okay, clicked into the screen now. And so that's been extremely satisfying. It's very immersive. I really, really like the design of the single player. There's lots of features that you can do, and various... You're not just on the ground as infantry, and you don't have as much of the effect of, like, you're invincible. You're just this, one man just, like, slaying hundreds of people. That may have been argued to have been exist in other Call of Duties. I didn't feel it that much, but sometimes you felt like that in other Call of Duties. And this, you actually feel like, yeah, you're a group of elite soldiers, and you're capable of killing much more than you lose. But a lot of you kind of feel that you are in a fair matchup, and I don't know how to explain it. Even when you're playing in the larger battles where there's more of divisions of the U.S. Army, a lot of people die on the friendly side. So, oops, we don't want that. So we beat the secret level. Let's go over to Penalty Beach 5. Arg, it seems like the way up is infested with enemies. I really don't think that was a pirate arc, but whatever. Point of advice, use the plants to climb upwards. So yeah, that's been very nice. The multiplayer, I also have very much enjoyed. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, you kill too fast in Ghost. This is terrible. This multiplayer is shit. I really don't believe that. I really like the fact that you die in less hits, because one, that's just more realistic. And I don't actually, because one of the things that's like, oh yeah, in Black Ops games, because you kill so slowly, you can turn on people. And honestly, I just don't like the logic that if you shoot someone with a gun, that they turn around instantly while being shot at and shoot you back and kill you before they die. That just, I don't like that. So Ghost is a game I very much like for multiplayer, and also it seems, not to insult anybody, but the general quality of the community on the Xbox One for Call of Duty is much better. Okay, I'm struggling here. Than that of the 360 or PlayStation 3. I mean, I don't really know how it is on the PlayStation 3 because I don't own one, but I know it's not the greatest. So yeah, that's very nice. The people, there's only one weapon that I would say is possibly overpowered. I wouldn't say it's overpowered, I just think you can exploit it a little too much. That's the MSBS, but there doesn't seem to be many jerks who play Xbox One Call of Duty Ghosts, which is very, very nice. And by jerks, I just mean people who are very, very obviously just exploiting a random game feature, whether it be this one spot where you can just sit there head glitching or whatever. I mean, I realize it's a part of the game, but when you do it on purpose and mostly just to annoy people, then that's just, you're a jerk, sir. Okay, let's get past here. This is a very interesting concept of a vertical level. Okay, you need to always do the... Oh, God. Okay, anyways, he's gone. And I very much like the weapon variety and the type of weapons. I'm a fan of single-fire weapons myself, and I find that awesome that there's all these single-fire weapons, and you can set all of these weapons to single-fire, and generally like the level customization, and I like the perk system, so that multiplayer I am very much in approval of. As for Battlefield 4, I would say yes, it is a very, very good game. I very like the more realism in the Battlefield series. I don't actually like drawing comparisons between COD and Battlefield because I just find that they're different games, going for different purposes. So I am not going to say, oh yeah, COD is clearly better than Battlefield here, and such, but I really enjoy the game. There's a lot of destructibility, I will certainly grant, that. At first I was skeptical and I thought it was going to be very similar to Battlefield 3, but there is actually a very significant amount of destructibility in the map. You can destroy pretty much anything and shoot through pretty much anything. So that's very cool. I was having fun with Battlefield 4. That's the one I've been playing the least, but there's no particular reason for that, because I have very much enjoyed playing it, especially with sniper rifles, even though sometimes it's annoying to get hit markers. Sometimes it annoys me that Battlefield takes more hits to kill than COD when it's on the more realistic side of things, but let's again not compare the games. Anything else I would like to say about the Xbox One? I would say that the voice controls in the Xbox One, I have had absolutely no issues with. If it hasn't worked, it's because I have no idea what the voice control is to do something, and I just guess, and obviously, if it's wrong, it's not going to work. The voice commands have been flawless. Every time I've said the command right, it's gotten it, and so that's been great. This is going to be the end of this episode, so until next time, I will see you guys then. Goodbye.